counting down to 1,000 on YouTube, man. It's 286 left.
It's happening.
Yeah.
The masses are finally realizing, Steve. They're seeing it. They're getting the message.
Hey, man, they need to recognize, but
You better recognize, bitches.
they do. They really need to. But you know, they always say that women comedians aren't funny or just women aren't funny. And while I think that to be mostly true, like yeah, there 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 are some. I mean, yeah, facts are facts. Let's be real. Most of the funny people I know are men, but there are some exceptions, man, when it comes to female comedians or comedic actresses. And we're going to talk about one who I've always had a special spotlight for, and that's Kelly Caulfield, man. I don't think the currents or the casuals of comedy are familiar with that name, but if you were a 90s kid growing up and you were tuned into In Living Color, she is one of the originals, man, from beginning all the way to the end. Just
She killed it in anything Wayne's, honestly, because they would use
yeah,
her in Scary Movie. She
yeah,
was like a nuclear bomb because she is one of those. I compare her to like a Sherry O'Terry, where
definitely.
that kind of same. But I agree, man. Kim Cofield is hilarious. She was always one of my favorites on In Living Color, and I mean, she's not in a main character in anything, but she's one of those people we've talked about it recently where they're like in a movie for like 5 minutes and it's killer.
A great accompaniment, if you will. The homie the clown skit, she was always one of the kids, and she was like obnoxiously loud. Yeah, homie. Yeah, and today, this year, I want a brand new Barbie doll. And
Speaking of things you can't do now, the whole homie the clown sketch is yeah, but Kim Cofield for sure, man. I'm trying to think of anything she did that wasn't a Wayne's related thing. And that's not saying anything, but she should have been utilized way more for sure. Maybe she didn't want to. She's like, I got the gold medal. Why would I keep going?
great impressionist. I think she did Sam Kinison. That was one of her
Oh yeah,
recurring skits.
Samantha Kinnison. She was
Yeah.
the female Sam Kinnison. Ow! Ow! She was great in Scary Movie, man, as the like scumbag teacher who's like smoking a cigarette and has a kid with one of her students.
Yeah. She was in Little Man. That's Wayne's College Road Trip,
College, really? Okay. So
Quiz
somebody
Show.
knew about it. She was in Quiz Show?
She
The
was
movie?
yeah, she was in Jerry Maguire, Field of Dreams.
Dang, okay. She had chops too. I didn't realize that she was that. She was actually in legit stuff too.
Made a lot of cameos in sitcoms from the 90s. Jamie Foxx Show, Wings, Martin, Seinfeld twice.
Dude, yeah. I mean, she's definitely an unsung hero in the 90s for sure. Put her up in the retire the jersey, Steve. Retire
Well,
the Kim Cofield jersey.
this is Steve G and Mad G What Happened in the 90s, a show where we talk about what happened in the 90s. So get out your great white hypes and your single white females. It washed away us all. Take us with the floods.
You couldn't go scream, Steve? You couldn't. Oh,
Yeah,
can't
I
do it.
don't know if
I'm not
my
angry enough.
42-year-old lung capacity can handle that. But today, my friend, we're talking all things May 7th in the 90s. I'm Hotep. I'm Hotep. I'm Hotep. Starting off in 1990, the final episode of Alien Nation would air. One season, 22 episodes on Fox.
And then I think like 10 TV movies. They kept bringing it back.
Cult following, man. And the reason it only lasted one season was no fault of their own. It's only because Fox was still a fledgling network and they didn't receive the advertising money that they expected. So they basically had to cut all of the serious drama shows. They kept the sitcoms, thankfully, in Living Color, Married with Children, things like that. But Alien Nation was one of the casualties. And I remember actually watching this back in the day, man. I didn't know it was only one season.
Yeah, my grandma and I used to watch this too. It was just like a strange combination because it was like a gritty, like detective, kind of X-Files-y, but because of the sci-fi stuff. But it was basically also just like a cop drama and with one of the people being an alien.
And
I dug it. And I didn't realize it was actually a movie before it was a TV show either, with James Caan of all
hmm,
people.
and it also spoke on, it was a satire as well. It spoke on things going on in society. Talked about racism. It covered, things like that. But the first thing I always think of when it comes to Alien Nation is their heads. Their heads reminded me of Honey Smacks. The Honey Smacks,
with the little squirrel thing. I hated those. Or no, wait, it was the frog.
that was Smacks. They were similar. Smacks was the frog.
Yeah.
Golden Crisp was the bear.
Yeah, I
Little,
didn't like
yeah.
those though, Steve. They looked like they were going bad. They had like a dark center to them for some reason. I was not into the cereal, but yeah, their heads definitely look like Smacks though. What I always remember about this show is that every once in a while there'd be like a lusty hot scene with just like a bodaciously bodied up alien chick trying to seduce a dude. And young Matt was very into that.
Yeah, if you could get past that Honey Smacks dome, would
Yeah, I mean, get a very large wig, because I think you do that, you're all right. But yeah, I dug this show. It was weird. I thought it was like a sci-fi TV show because I feel like that's where I saw it, or maybe USA.
yeah.
But yeah, weird show, kind of about racism and immigration, but just weird honey smack head aliens. You know, way to go,
And,
Fox.
and in 1993, American Heart premieres. An ex-convict is tracked down by his estranged teenage son, and the pair try to rebuild a relationship and life together in Seattle. Directed by Martin Bell, starring Jeff Bridges, Edward Furlong, Lucinda Jenny, and Don Harvey.
This is another tough kid kind of taking the crap from an adult. Not as bad as De Niro was giving it to Leo.
Yeah.
Not that bad, but just a shredded, almost all alternative rock Jeff Daniels in here.
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jack Daniels. I need one, Steve. No, but just Jeff Bridges trying to reform himself, Steve, trying to get away from a life of crime, but then Eddie Furlong shows up, and it's a bummer.
All he wants to do is bang chicks, but this is actually Jeff Bridges' favorite movie of his own. Like, wow, more than Big Lebowski.
I mean, he's in here. It's like pretty high level acting. This isn't like him playing dude or some like Western guy or some shit like that. This is good. I understand why it's his favorite movie. Eddie Furlong, great after T2 role.
Yeah.
He's great in this. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like one of those movies where, yeah, it's good, but it's a damn tough watch because it's constantly like a dude like telling a kid, like, I don't want you here. I'm trying to get sniz. I just got out of jail, okay?
Yeah.
I
Show
got
me
some
what
guy on my ass trying to get me back into crime, and I got Eddie Furlong wanting to get, I don't know, listen to some freaking Soundgarden albums in my apartment while I'm trying to get my dick sucked. It's just not going to work out.
Bring on the whores.
But I think this was actually like a fictionalized version of the director made a documentary about his life or some street kid's life. And so that was like what led to this. It was the director's actual life itself, and he made a documentary about being like a street kid in Seattle. But because that's kind of what Eddie Furlong is. He's just like this feral street kid that's hanging out with all these other kids who don't really have parents and stuff. Trying to kiss a chick.
That's all.
Yeah, and your mic is a little messed up, Steve.
Yeah, having some technical issues here.
Technical difficulties on happened in the 90s. What is that, an 8-track, Steve?
It's a whole ass
Was
microphone.
that a laser disc? But yeah, I mean, here's the other thing. You see Jeff Daniels, he kind of looks like a schlubby dude. In this, they got like the promo photos are of him like shredded, like just showing his abs and his little dick root, which I was like, that's kind of a weird Jeff Daniels look. Def Jam. I can't even say it, Steve. I'm just trying to. I think you got it.
Def Jam V for Vendetta.
There you go.
But also,
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like it's way too much on American Heart. But also in 1993, Dave premieres. An uncanny presidential lookalike named Dave is recruited by the Secret Service to become a momentary stand-in for the President of the United States. Directed by Ivan Reitman, starring Kevin Kline, Sigourney Weaver, Frank Langella, Kevin Dunn, Ving Rhames, and Ben Kingsley.
Ving Rhames with hair, Steve. You almost don't even know it's him. You hear his voice and you're like, wait, is that Ving Rhames?
Yeah.
It's weird. But this is a movie. I don't like, there's a lot of political movies I just don't dig. This one, I dig this. It kind of shows how crappy politics is, how underhanded it is. You know, I would say it's kind of a crazy story, but I could almost see this happening. Like somebody has like a stroke and they find a guy to just play the president to keep everything going. I mean, it actually happened with Woodrow Wilson, but
true.
Yeah, and Kevin Kline kills it. Everybody kills it. The guy who's the underhanded scumbag, like
Vice President, Frank Langella.
I don't think it's the vice president, but that guy's great. And you know, you get like that heartwarming ending too, where he kind of like lays it all out to the public. And acts as what we would like a president to act like, but he's a normal dude, and it would never happen. That's why it's out.
Yeah, honesty. Yeah, you're disqualified. But also in 1993, Dragon, the Bruce Lee story premieres, a fictionalized account of the life and martial arts superstar, directed by Rob Cohen, starring Jason Scott Lee, Lauren Holly, Nancy Kwan, and Robert Wagner.
I always dug this movie, Steve. I mean, it's way over the top, but you know, it's made by his family. It's about Bruce Lee posthumously, and it's almost like they're like making a biography about a superhero, you know, like a biographical movie. But it's kind of what they do with, you know, like Bohemian Rhapsody and stuff. You just make this like ultra glittery version of somebody's life. So with Bruce Lee probably as cool as this and behind the scenes, I don't know, but this movie makes him look like a Marvel superhero, which he kind of was.
And again, Jason Scott Lee, Mr. Jungle Book, man. Like there was a brief spell in the 90s, man, where he was crushing it. And then I guess he just left the public life and just, you know, wanted to live a regular schmegular.
Yeah, he kills this. I mean, for real. He committed. He was not a martial artist when he got this and like committed to doing it. You could fool me. You know, he does a great job in this movie. So, and there's a bunch of like little Easter eggs. Like, you know, Bruce Lee was in The Green Hornet.
Right.
And the guy who played the Green Hornet plays the director of Green Hornet in
Robert
this
Wagner.
Yeah, he plays. So there's cool little Easter eggs where they get like family members and people that were in Bruce Lee's life in this movie as well. And it's, you know, is it 100% like historically accurate? Probably not, but it's a good ass movie.
Yeah, most biopics aren't. But what's crazy about this movie is that Brandon Lee wasn't even able to see this movie, as he would pass away on March 31st of that year in 93. And who would have thought, man, you know, they're making a film about your dad and you're not even going to be able to enjoy it, at least here on Earth.
Yeah, that's sad, man. It's the curse, dude.
Yeah, that's what they say. But in 1996, Pantera would release the Great Southern Trendkill. It wash away us all.
It's too. I just said it before, Steve. We talked Pantera before. It's too heavy for me. But my friend Matt, coincidentally, my friend Matt, he had this. I remember this. I remember the album. The album art's cool as hell with the snake on it. There are while I was listening to it, the songs that stood out to me were the Suicide Note 1 and 2s, just because they're both good songs, but one of them's like a sweet, like melodious song, which I was like, oh, it's kind of weird. It's like a softer side to Pantera, and then side 2 of the Suicide Note's like, fuck you, you know, it's pretty awesome. So I'm not an expert, but it's good for a workout, Steve. I was getting it today, fueled by Pantera. So
Yeah, I mean, this is my max. Pantera is my max as far as metal, and this isn't their greatest album, but it does have some Dimebag Daryl licks, those tasty licks, man, where he's just wailing on that hammer. Pause. Wailing on that hammer.
yo, what is the album with Walk on it, Steve? Because that's my favorite Pantera song, and every time we're going to talk about it, I'm like, this is it, because I thought Walk was on this, but
that is on Vulgar Display of Power, released in '92,
okay.
And yeah.
But this was a big one. I feel like if there was a mainstream Pantera album, I mean, me and my buddies in the suburbs of Toledo, Ohio were listening to this. So I was more into the hip hop influenced Limp Bizkits of the world, the Corns of the world. That's where I got my anger and frustration out. This was just, I guess I just wasn't angry enough, Steve. My little fat ass was just too hopped up on Swiss cake rolls and stuff. Just having a good time.
It was Rob Van Dam for me. That was his interest music, Walk. And also my friend Louie, he was super heavy metal. Like his limits of heavy metal exceeds well past Pantera. And shout out to Louie, man. Good guy, doing well in life. But yeah, man, he put me on to stuff like this. And Louie, everything was gay. If it wasn't like heavy metal, he would call everything gay.
He's talking about killing someone. Gay.
But yeah, shout out to Louis and Pantera, at least the people that aren't Phil Anselmo. But in 1998, the Jamie Foxx Show was airing season 1, episode 21, I've Fallen and I Won't Get Up. When a guest fakes an injury so she can sue the hotel, Jamie must expose her lies. Hilarity ensues.
Talking Kelly Cofield, Steve. She shows up to the hotel. She's checking out. But there's just this issue with the card. Jamie can't get it. It's beeping. It's doing all these things. It's not going through though. So Kelly's like, look, I got another card out in the car. I'm going to go get it. And as she's going to, because something seems up. You can smell something's up. Jamie turns his back. And Kelly, I mean, in the most obvious way possible, just sprinkles a little mop water on the ground and then fakes a fall like he's Steve.
But dude, the backflip before the slip, man. Here we go again with the fake little cutaways. Like, is that Tay-Mac over there?
She's got that glow. So she's fallen, Steve, and she's not getting up. Not because she can't, but she got a scam going.
Yeah. And the lady in the lobby, she won't help Jamie. Help! It's a white lady on the lobby. She in the ground. You can't even help your own kind.
And then we cut to the credits, and then it's the aftermath, Steve, where now Uncle Junior's in the mix. And this guy's he's a vet, Steve. He's always worried about money, and now it's for good cause because he can smell the lawsuit going. Because she's like, oh, my sciatica. She's making up stuff, Steve. And Uncle Junior's pissed because he's like, man, I told you to, like, you said you were going to mop. So Jamie's saying he didn't mop, which is a problem. But now there's a bigger problem. And, yeah, a lot of being made of this fall, Steve. My neck, my back,
I fell into that big wet spot over there. And Uncle Junior, well, that sounds like a big ass lawsuit.
Yeah.
And
So, I mean, they're just like Uncle Junior's answer to this is you're going to give her everything she wants. Like, she's getting a free hotel room, Steve. She doesn't have to check out. And basically, he's just doing damage control, trying to make sure this lady doesn't sue him.
but and also something we can't look over when they recommend calling the ambulance. She's like, no, 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 that's not necessary. I'll just lay down here until just give me some time. And then we cut to her room. She's laid up, and they bring in spam sandwich, hot fries, and some Kool-Aid. I could go for that. I'm not above spam sandwiches.
Dude, those are delicious with
Mm.
cheese. It tastes like hot dog meat. I don't know what's the problem here. It's flat hot dog meat, but she's not. She's hurting, Steve. She needs a little filet mignon. She needs the protein to heal. She also needs a little Chateau Marmont, whatever.
Straight from
78.
Napa.
And she also Jamie's like, okay, I'll get you all that, and she's like, actually, also, I could use a foot rub, and I just knew, Steve. I was like, them feet are gonna be icky, and sure.
Oh, you don't want to rub my leg? I bet my lawyer can rub my leg in court.
So Jamie's like, fine. All right, let me see your feet. And he's like, oh, God. All them onions and bunions and funyuns.
She's been running through asphalt and ass.
Oh,
And
they look like they're zombified, Steve. It doesn't look good.
we cut back to the lobby, and the Kings have all of these receipts that came from Miss Richburg. Barbara Richburg is her name. There's a $400 tab for massage team. It's like massage team. And then this whole group of linebackers come out of the elevator, and like, damn, what else were they cracking?
you know, Steve. It's Miss Rich. What's her name? Richfield?
Richburg.
Richburg. Then Braxton shows up. He comes out of the elevator. He's like, something's wrong. I think Miss Richburg's she's hurt. She's making weird noises. There's just something happening over there. We got to go help her. So Fancy, him, and Jamie get in the elevator to go upstairs. And, I'm smelling something's up, Steve.
Yeah, because when they show her, she's dancing to some music videos. I think it's Tootsie Roll she's watching. And then they knock on the door. She's like, who is that? So she dashes back into the bed, and she's playing like she's got like amnesia. It's like, Lord, is that you? Is this the gate?
Mama?
Is it my time? Yeah, she tells him, like, I just need a little rest. Well, thank you, Grandma. Can you get me some animal crackers?
She's also blind, I think, too. She can't see anything. It's the fall's really taking it. So now they're worried. They go to get her some animal crackers, maybe call a doctor. I don't know. And when they leave, Tootsie Roll comes back on. And then Jamie walks back in because he forgot something, catches her mid Tootsie Roll, Steve. She's like, I can dance. He's like, no, you can't.
And you need to get up out of here. Well, I'll see you in court.
Okay. But she wasn't kidding, Steve, because we cut to the next scene. We're in court.
Yeah.
Uncle Junior, he apparently had some special lawyer friend that he was going to bring. Aunt Helen's like, where's he at? I don't see this guy. And Uncle Junior's like, chill. He is in the building. Unfortunately, he's being arraigned upstairs. I couldn't do it, Steve. I tried.
And then the bailiff comes out and announces the judge, Lakeisha Rashonda Jackson. And obviously, you're thinking it's going to be a sister, but it's played by none other than the late, great Ruth Buzzy. Sock it to me?
She looks like Jay Leno and Judge Judy had some kind of smash baby. It's crazy looking.
That's a strong chin. And she also played Screech Powers' mom in Saved by the Bell.
I didn't realize we ever saw Screech's parents, Steve. I'm a terrible 90s expert. So Judge, not a sister, Steve. So Jamie's already kind of worried. They got no lawyer. That's troubling. And then in walks White Johnny Cochran, aka Miss Richburg's lawyer, who is
Well, it's actually Marsha Clark.
Is that Marsha Clark?
Well, that's who it's supposed to be a spoof of instead of Johnny Cochran.
Well, I'm just making a joke, Steve. I'm
What?
sorry. It wasn't proper. You son of a bitch. But as she walks in, Miss Richburg wheels herself in, and it seems like the fall has just only gotten worse, Steve. She's got a bloody bandage on her head. She's got a neck brace. She's got an IV. And she's just, and everything's going downhill.
And they ask her if she needs any assistance or anything. She says, "I'll take a cranberry with a splash of lemon and low on the ice." And as she's going through her, what'd you say?
For the pain, wink.
Of course. And as she's telling her testimony, she says, "I slipped and fell, and now I'm forced to look like this. At one point, I was a beautiful woman." I object, Your Honor. She was all right.
And as they go through this, obviously Jamie's reputation is attacked. Miss Richburg also has developed a lisp, which I found hilarious. She's just developed all these issues. And at one point, they bring Miss Richburg to the stand, Steve. And I think I fucked this up. Let's rewind.
Well, she's at the stand already, and the judge asks do you see the perpetrator in the room?
That's what
and she's like, I do, yes. Well, can you point him out? Well, are you sure I'm safe? Because he said that if I named him, he would pop a cap in my ass. Look, lady, I assure you, no one's going to pop a cap in your ass.
So she points Jamie out. It's easy. He's right there. And I think at some point I don't know if it happened before this or after this, but at one point they called Jamie a habitual liar, and he's like, "Who's calling me a habitch?" And he goes off. I don't know how they aren't arrested. There's a lot of violence and stuff that crops up in this court session, Steve, because we got the habitch thing. Jamie popped off. They bring Braxton in. He gets cross-examined, and as soon as they tell him he's under oath, he spills the beans and tells them that he doesn't think Jamie's a good worker. He's a liar.
And then they have the aunt.
Aunt Helen shows up, and they're good cop, bad copping her, and are like, You changed Jamie's diapers, didn't you? Right? And she starts laughing and having a good time. And then she turns the heat up in some way, and Aunt Helen just starts choking a bitch, Steve. She goes Latrell Sprewell in court.
And now they call Jamie to the stand, and he tries to flirt with the judge, try to butter her up. "Hey, I like your little outfit over there." Hey, cut the crap. So he asked, "Did you mop the floor?" "I did not." Then she's like, "Oh, really? Why don't you try these on?" She hands him some gloves. Obviously it's a spoof of the OJ glove thing, and he does the whole little, if it don't
he does
fit,
the walk too. He does the whole thing. He walks like OJ. He puts the glove on. It doesn't fit, and they must have quit, Steve.
Yeah, he was trying to calm his bone down because the lawyer, I'm not gonna lie, she was kind of getting steamy with him, and not bad looking. She's been faking this whole time, Your Honor. And then
I'll call Miss Richburg to the stand because he's a lawyer now.
He's like, "Yeah, I have one more witness." And judge was like, "You need to hurry this up. I have a booty call." And so Miss Richburg, she goes up to the stand, and he's like, "Look, don't worry about this. I watched enough Perry Mason. Now, Miss Richburg, do you have blue eyes?" "Yes." "So what?" "Well, I was just establishing the fact that you had blue eyes. Jamie, you're dancing on thin ice. Now proceed." Now, dancing. Okay, dancing. Okay, now, Miss Richburg, before the accident, you said you could dance, right? Yes, I was a fine dancer. I knew all the latest moves. You hear that, everybody? All the latest moves. All the latest moves. All the latest moves. But yet, when I came into your room, you were doing the most pathetic Tootsie Roll ever. What is this? He starts doing it, and everybody's just clowning Miss Richburg.
Yeah, they get fisheye lens. Everybody's laughing, and that Miss Richburg can't handle it. She knows the talent she's holding, so she pops up. It's a miracle, Steve. She pops out of the wheelchair and actually does the worst Tootsie Roll. Even I can do a better Tootsie Roll than this, Steve.
I can Tootsie Roll. I can do the butterfly. I can do the bankhead bounce.
So proves she's lying. Case dismissed. Jamie's an ultimate lawyer. But Miss Richburg isn't done yet because she's still got to prove her worth on the dance floor. She's dancing. She actually slips and falls. Does another she just does a full flip, and now she's got a real spinal injury, Steve. Her back is out of whack.
Maybe we need to give her a hand.
Peace.
Yeah.
Kim, though. Kim, this is probably, as far as things I remember her from TV on as a guest, this is great. This is all Kim.
It's all her work, man. More funnier than Jamie. This is one of those episodes where the cameo is funnier than Jamie himself.
He also killed it, though. Everybody. Also, the post-credit bloopers they show of the bailiff trying to say the judge's name with the donut, and he just can't. And Garrett Morris is losing his shit because he's just mate, what is it again? It's like Chris Tucker in Rush Hour. Chelsea Carter?
Rashonda, Lakeisha, Lashana.
I love that.
But on that same day in 98, Seinfeld is airing season 9, episode 20, The Puerto Rican Day. Penultimate episode, Jerry, George, Kramer, and Elaine get stuck in a standstill due to a massive Puerto Rican Day parade. Hilarity ensues.
Was this episode banned, Steve?
It is banned from syndication because of the flag stomping.
That's crazy. It's even crazier that Kramer was the character
of all people, right? That's what I was thinking.
It was kind of apropos, but yeah, great episode as always. It's crazy this is almost over. Yeah, I mean, literally the next one is a compilation episode, and then I think the last episode's a two-parter, if I'm not mistaken.
Two-parter, yeah.
But this one's great. We start off on the road of all places, not the diner, not Jerry's. And the gang's coming back from a Mets game. Jerry's a little disappointed that they had to leave early, but the Mets were getting destroyed. Everybody wanted to leave. George is kind of hungry, which Elaine's shocked because I guess he was just pounding food at the ballpark, Steve. As you should.
All the non-digestibles. And they try to make an exit, but it's blocked off. And now they move along in the freeway, but now there's a guy that's boxing them out, and he's in a maroon Golf. So Kramer helps him out. He's like, all right, man, I'll let you know when. And then he ends up veering the guy out. And so now the guy's pissed in the maroon Golf, and he rushes up to the side of Jerry, and he starts flicking him off. So Kramer's like, hey, let's moon him. So him and Elaine are like, hey, man, if that's all it takes to see Elaine's ass, then yeah, I'll flip all of y'all off.
Yeah, double. I'll go Stone Cold Steve Austin on that. That's great. So Maroon Golf got at least half of an eye full, Steve. Yeah. And we cut to just New York traffic now. They're off the freeway. George is talking about seeing this movie called Hindenburg. And it's a movie about the Hindenburg, Steve. I mean, we all know it's like Titanic. But during his viewing in the theater, George got off a zinger right at the climax where the Hindenburg blows up, and he threw out a "That's gotta hurt" just at that perfect time. And we've all been there, Steve, where there's just moments in a movie where that happens, where it's just perfect. It's perfect comedy.
And it killed in this instance. So now they're slowed down, and they're thinking like, man, what's up with all these flags? It's Puerto Rican Parade Day. So
Oh,
yeah, Kramer, he was out of the car. He had to hop out for a second, and then he hops back into a convertible, thinking it's Jerry and the gang, but it's an actual Puerto Rican family. Like,
this is our parade. I'm sorry, Puerto Rican people. But yeah, Steve, there's mucho traffic in New York. And as they're stuck in traffic, George is kind of bubbling up a little bit, figuratively and literally, because of those baseball park nachos. They're really just giving him the business. So he keeps mentioning that. And as they're sitting there, I mean, it's gridlock, Steve. Traffic ain't moving, but Kramer's eagle eyeing it. And he sees like this weird alleyway that's, up ahead. They got to get over, but it seems open. There's the exit point. So they center in on that. But unfortunately, as they're trying to inch through traffic, Jerry gets blocked, Steve, and it's a familiar car. It's a familiar face. It's none other than Maroon Golf himself. And he's feeling a little shitty about what happened on the freeway. Still a little burned up about it.
where you going, Black Sob? Yeah. I'm sorry to have cut you off, but Elaine, she's had enough. She's feeling nauseous. So she hops out, and George, he looks at this as an opportunity to go to the movies. The cinema's right there. It's like, you know what? I'm going to watch that movie again. Just for that stupid little line. But dude, it's no different than what you do.
Yeah, dude, he's got a zinger, Steve. Why not? I guess got to point out, me and my buddy Aaron went to a movie one time, and this is just an example of this perfect moment. Somebody at the end of an X-Men movie that sucked, an old black lady at like the culminating moment went, just like that, and loud as fuck, and everybody laughed. So it's a moment you always want.
I never forget when we watched Ocean's 11 higher off of our ass, man, higher than giraffe pussy. And you were laughing so loud. I heard an audible, man, they high as fuck.
Dude, that used to happen all the time. I remember every time we went to a movie for like a year, people would just be like, damn, somebody smoked. Like you just hear that coming. We're like, oh.
Now I'm paranoid. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The cops are coming.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, George is on his way to just kill his show, Steve, just like Jerry does. But we cut to Elaine in a taxi, and I just got to point out a cameo. I believe the driver of the taxi was a sheriff in Sons of Anarchy, if I'm not mistaken. He has a very signature burnt face look. Looks like he was in a fire of some kind, but
the Edward James Olmos skin.
a little bit. It's just weird looking, and Elaine's just struggling. She wants to get home. It's a Sunday. Traffic is screwed. And so she's like going back and forth with this taxi driver. And finally she's like, look, man, like I'm done. Like I can walk faster than this. So she pays the guy, gets out in a huff, starts walking, but immediately traffic picks up again. So she's chasing the taxi down. And you can kind of see where this is going, Steve. Rinse and repeat.
Yeah. Because she gets back in the car and it stops, stands still in traffic. So she gets back out like, man, F this. I'm going to race this. I'm going to foot race this car. But the cab just takes off. So now we're in the theater. George sits down next to some ladies and he's trying to flirt. And it's just like, give me away. And someone they notice is pointing has a laser pointer on the screen and the girls are giddy. It's like, oh my God, that's the funniest thing ever. Just sense of humor is so attractive, more than looks or hair.
And George is just sitting there like, got a zinger waiting. And then, he's got to be patient. That's part of comedy. But he does notice that guy going out to get a couple of snacks. So he follows Laser Guy out, gets up behind him. He's like, dude, are you that guy with the funny laser pointer? That's great, man. That laser pointer is great. And the he's a comedian, man. He's like, laser pointer's not funny. I'm the comedic genius.
Yeah. Well, I understand that, but like, hey, man, I have this zinger I want to try. So if you could give me a little window, a small window to try out my zinger. He's just like, dude, whatever. So it's right at the explosion scene. You know what I mean? So that's all I need. But we cut back to Jerry and Kramer. The traffic sucks and it's still not moving. So Kramer suggests that they leave the car there. Just say you had it stolen. You can get another car.
Yeah. And to make matters worse, Jerry's listening to the Mets game they left, and they're making an insane comeback as they're sitting in traffic. So Kramer does have a point. I think for a second, Jerry does contemplate. He's like, actually, is that legit? Because Kramer's going down all the details, but it's Kramer. It's like, okay, I think he just made that up. So Jerry's finally like, I'm not abandoning the car. And then we cut back to the theater, and the laser guy is a hit, Steve. He's hitting the boobs. He's hitting all the marks. Everyone's loving this. And finally, we get to the explosion scene. George throws out his signature line. Oh, that's gotta hurt. Flops. Crickets, Steve. Even people actually look at him like he's a freak. And then, then George is obviously he's a craftsman, Steve. He can't stand that these uncultured idiots can't understand real comedy. And he's like, "What you think this laser pointer guy is something? He's a prop comic. I'm coming with the goods."
As he says that, the laser pointer's on his head now, and everybody's laughing at him. Hey, look, it's on the bald guy's head.
I love that one lady's just like, I am so glad that laser pointer guy came to the show. Yeah. People are just loving it, Steve. And cut back to traffic. And Jerry kind of figures out this way to make peace with Maroon Golf. Kramer's like, dude, just like, do one of these. Like, come on. Where you're just like sympathizing with each other. So he does it. The guy, Maroon Golf, while he is surly, he respects it. He respects the attempt. So he's like, whatever, that's enough. So there's an agreement here. It's enough to appease this guy. And he agrees to just back his car up because that's all he needed to do. Yeah. And luckily, George shows up just in time for them to leave. He's still reeling from his failure on center stage at the movie theater. He's pissed. And then as he's getting in, Jerry and Kramer notice the laser pointer's now he's being followed, Steve. He's being stalked.
It's that laser pointer. And as they're pulling the corner, Jerry, he just says, sorry, not sorry. See you around, Maroon Golf. I'm glad I cut you off. Black Sob rules.
Pulls over, pulls through into freedom. And as soon as he gets into that gap, traffic just comes in. And to make matters worse, it's spearheaded by Elaine's taxi, which stops there. Elaine's out. She leaves taxi guy just stuck. And even he's like, you're going to leave now? You leave me stranded? And like, now I just have to sit in traffic. Thanks a lot, bitch.
We were almost out. And the Maroon Golf guy, he's like, wait, your girlfriend blocked you out? It's like, I'm not his girlfriend. Well, we used to date, but look, he doesn't need to know all that. Oh, so you used to date. So I guess you found out he was a jackass. Jackass.
Pulls a little Happy Gilmore, man, on him. And yeah. And meanwhile, Kramer and George are just enjoying some churros, Steve, because if I'm stuck in traffic at the Puerto Rican Day Parade, that's exactly where I'm going. Churros out of a brown paper bag. It's one of the most delicious treats in LA that you can get. So I can only imagine. Mm-hmm. But yeah, now like George is just kind of in his head because Laser Guy, he's not letting up. This thing's all day. And Kramer's like, man, are you worried about like being blinded by that? And George really had never thought of it. So now he's ultra scared that he's going to be blinded by this laser.
Your whole eyeball could blow up like the Death Star. And then it's right between your eyes. And then like Jerry's like, man, I'm about to go get some soda or something. Hey, jackass, get me a Diet Dr. Pepper.
Okay. I like that they're still like they're being civil to each other, Steve. So now we're at the parade itself. Elaine's just trying to find a way home. She's got to do it. So they're blocking the street. She's got to cross. There's no way to cross it. And as she's kind of like just being angry at life, she looks over to the where the people are watching the parade, the rafters or whatever you want to
Bleachers.
call it. Bleachers. There you go, Steve. Couldn't remember it. And she realizes there's like this little gap in the tarp that's almost like a secret tunnel to freedom, Steve. And she notices it, and then she starts talking to all the people around her. She's like, guys, we got to pass to freedom. Let me lead you to freedom. She's got a regular freedom trains going, Steve, to cross Fifth.
Yeah, they go under the bleachers, and Kramer, he has to use the restroom bad, and there are no public restrooms around. So, thinking on his toes, he sees this leasing sign for an apartment. It's an apartment, right?
Yeah, he's good, but it's a New York. He's gonna buy this place, so gotta have a bathroom, Steve.
He's so he poses as a wealthy industrialist, Mr. Pennypacker. I'm looking for a place for my unusual habits and the women I frequent with.
I sell men like me every day. He just keeps saying weird stuff, but he gets that bathroom, Steve. This is a nice little Kramer moment. It pays off. So he's using a bathroom in a luxurious, weird-looking apartment. Cut to Elaine's freedom train under the bleachers, and she's got a bunch of people following her. There's trash everywhere. There's beer falling on them, and there's also some hot goss because there's this pregnant lady that she finds out doesn't have a husband. So that becomes the talk of the back of the line where she's like, do you realize this chick is just not, she's committing a sin, a mortal sin, guys?
Yeah, right after she tells her, I respect that, but there's a priest down there with him too, and he can't proceed because he's got a bad hip. Leave me if you must. All right, well, take it easy. So
Father O'Gimpy over there.
Yeah, we cut back to George, and now he has sunglasses, but the laser returns. And Jerry asks, like, man, what if the laser gets in between the sides? Then it'll still blind you.
Just keep bouncing back and forth, just getting more intense.
It's in your eye now.
I mean, George is going to kill himself, Steve. This guy, one laser pointer, I didn't realize could just drive a man to insanity like that.
And then Kramer appears wrapped in the Puerto Rican flag. He's like, dude, where were you? I was watching the game. Where? And then the next scene, we cut to Jerry. He's in that same apartment, and he is Del Varnson.
And the lady mentions like some other guy was in here because he's just sitting there enjoying the game, asking for snacks. And she's like, I must warn you, there's been other people looking at this apartment. And he mentions Pennypacker. She's like, oh, you're aware of him? He's like, yes, unfortunately I am. And then he like just aside to himself is like, advantage Varner. So we got a little apartment bidding war going on, Steve, but nobody's going to buy it.
Cut back to George. He's like, I see the laser guy. That's him. I'm going to sneak up on him. And then now back to the bleachers, and they realize it's a dead end. And it's like, dude, we can't go on like this. There's a guy that just like strangles her or whatever.
Oh, he starts making out with her.
Yeah, he's like, they slap each other and then they start making out. And then Elaine calls for help. Like she's yelling at the top of her lungs, and like they hear her from the other side of the bleachers. They lift up one of the seats, and they just look like some refugees.
Yeah, they're like, please help us. And everyone's like, what's going on here? And she's like, we just want to cross the street somehow. And I love the cops like, can't cross the street here. And that's like a Christmas Story. They just put the thing back on, and you know, out of sight, out of mind, Steve. Those aren't my refugees.
Typical cop shit. And now George, he sees the guy who he thinks has the laser pointer. He creeps up on him, takes his pen, breaks it, and ink explodes all over his hands. He's like, oh, dude. The guy laughs at him. He's like, oh, you think that's funny? No, that's not funny. What's funny is that laser pointed at your head.
Yeah, and the guys just, I love everyone that when they see the laser, they don't not just mention it to George. They're like, this laser pointer guy is hilarious. He is a laugh riot.
Yeah.
Everyone just loves it.
He's a George Carlin over here. And now Kramer, he's talking to Maroon Golf and he's trying to get him into the Puerto Rican Day spirit. Like, hey, man, ease off, trying to talk him off the ledge. And then the guy, he starts smiling. He's like, see, now that's the spirit. It was like, man, what's that smell? He turns around and the Puerto Rican flag is burning. So he takes it out of the car and starts stomping on it. And then I don't know if they're supposed to be homosexual, but like they're recurring guests, like some recurring, like effeminate thugs. And they're like, he's stomping on the Puerto Rican flag. You know what day this is? Come on.
You know what day this is, homie?
Because we know what day it is. Maybe we should stomp you like you stomped the flag.
That's not very nice. The white guy's just like, that's not very nice. Didn't they like get into a tussle because of the armoire? Wasn't that one of the episodes?
That's what it was. Yep. I was trying to figure out. Yep.
Yeah. So Kramer's like, hey, guys, hey, oh. And then he just makes it, he bolts, Steve. And true, he can't fight. You can't fight that rough Puerto Rican guy and his gay lover. They're ready to tussle.
Yeah. It's a whole, as Mel Gibson would put it, it's a whole pack of Puerto Ricans following him. And now George, now he's in the apartment as Art Vandelay, his alias. And they all, now it's like the Spider-Man meme where they're all pointing at each other. Oh, Mr. Vandelay. Oh, Mr. Pennypacker. Oh, Vel Gavarnson.
So they're stuck in a little Mexican standoff. But then as Jerry is like kind of clocking that everyone he was with is not with his car, he realizes his car has been completely left unattended. So he runs to a window, looks out, and his car's being destroyed, Steve. I mean, at least mobbed up a little bit, bounced up. I don't know what's going on, but he's not happy.
Kramer even addresses him by his real name because he's like, so who's at the factory? The Saab factory. That's in Sweden, Jerry.
So now we cut to, that's it. We cut to the credits and we see that Jerry's Saab has basically been pushed into the entryway of like a basement apartment. It's vertical, Steve. It's not parked as much as it's been strewn to the side of the road. But Jerry's like, well, remember where I parked, and even puts his little security alarm on just to be sure. It's New York, Steve. It's 90s New York.
And Elaine shows up looking like Auschwitz, and she's like, you know what? I like to unwind on a Sunday.
Yeah, and she's got like popcorn, and she looks like she was in a tornado. And as they're talking, Maroon Golf, still in the area, shows up, stops, and he's like, he just wants to say hi one last time, Steve. And Jerry actually is like, well, at least he didn't say jackass, and the guy throws a quick jackass on him too. And it's real Happy Gilmore level jackassery. He's like, jackass. It sounds like the guy.
Looks like the building cut you off, jackass. You know who that guy is? He was in.
He looks familiar as hell.
Pootie Tang. He was in Pootie Tang. He was one of the guys in the crew. He was the idiot that would always repeat whatever was said. And you know what? Pootie Tang kicks some ass too. Like, he's that guy.
Well, he's hilarious. Maroon Golf. I don't know if he ever shows up again, but he's great. And as just like the period to this episode, they turn around and we see on George's ass, the laser pointer guy is still going crazy on him. So I love that.
Laser pointer.
I'm just so glad this laser pointer guy showed up to my show.
Yeah. And that following year, 1999, The Mummy premieres.
That's it.
I hate when I do that or fail to do that. It an archaeological dig in the ancient city of Hamunaptra,
Steve?
Hymenoptera, an American serving in the French Foreign Legion, accidentally awakens a mummy who begins to wreak havoc as he searches for the reincarnation of his long lost love. Directed by Stephen Sommers, starring Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz, John Hannah, Arnold Vocino, Jonathan Hyde, and Kevin J. O'Connor.
I actually watched this last night, Steve, and I was a fan of this when it came out. Um, I don't know, man. It's like Indiana Jones kind of to me, this is like when special effects were getting kind of big. So Universal went all out. The little sand demon face thing that was
Yeah.
huge. And as far as like Brendan Fraser goes, like this is kind of my favorite thing he ever did, to be honest with you.
It's one of them for me. And the guy who played the mummy, his name is actually Arnold Vaslow. I pronounced it wrong. And he looks like great value Billy Zane. We got Billy Zane at home.
Yeah, he definitely does. But also the chick who plays his long lost love, I forget what her name is.
Rachel
One,
Weisz.
no.
Oh.
It's like the Egyptian chick. She's just like a hot Egyptian chick.
Yeah,
That
the Cleopatra. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's oh my god! When I was a kid, because they basically you see titties in this movie, and they just somehow like erase the nipple, and I was just like, I loved Egyptian women for a while because of this movie. I was like, is that what they look like?
They do.
Is that what Egypt's like?
Well, little bronzer of a tan, but yeah, they're hot.
Yeah, and Rachel Weisz is beautiful in this, and then like all of the people that they have, like, because they're going up against like this group of like cowboy American dudes that are trying to find this treasure too. Those guys are cool. And the English guy who is Rachel Weisz's brother, I dig him. And then there's this smarmy guy who's like the evil. His name's like Benny. He's ugly as hell. He's in a bunch of movies we've talked about. I can't remember the one. It was like on a boat, and it was like a monster movie with Treat Williams.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's that was a sequel of something. It was an Event Horizon. No, that wasn't Event Horizon.
No, it's something like that. It's like they're on a cruise ship, and then these like it's ridiculous. But that guy always played this. He was like a scummy, slimy dude. I can't remember that name of that movie, and it's pissing me off. Yeah. It's something Darkness, I feel like, but yeah, I mean, this was like a big blockbuster movie. I dig these kind of movies, and this doesn't disappoint. It's got good special effects for the time, you know, some weird stuff, but like the mummy guy looks cool. What he does is cool. He like sucks your soul like Shang Tsung, and it makes him more like put together again. And all the mummy stuff, like the pyramid stuff, and when they're in like the bowels of whatever they're in this Hymenoptera place, it all looks super cool. And I mean, this was like the Universal's revitalizing of at least the mummy character, because they have all those like signature like Dracula and the Wolfman and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And this one was successful. I mean, they made like 3 of them, one of which I think like kind of launched The Rock's movie career a little bit.
It did. Yeah. And the guy you're talking about, that's Kevin J. O'Connor, and he was in Deep Rising with Treat Williams.
Deep Rising, yeah. We watch it for the show, and it's something I used to like. It's just not very good, but he was that character in that movie too. He was Benny in that.
Well, Weasley, I wanted his ass to get destroyed in there, and he got his in the end.
It's very satisfying because everybody that you want to die gets theirs. Good action. Good like PG-13 deaths and stuff too. I dug it, man. I can't speak for the other ones, but they definitely like did something well on this first one. And Brendan Fraser is just a great like leading man in this. He's very I mean it's like young Indiana Jones basically.
Yeah, everybody did their part. This was actually my first time watching it, man, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Don't know if I'm going to watch the Scorpion King and all the ones with the Rock.
It's not. It's the Scorpion King's trash. I think they made a second one that was actually pretty decent too, but I can't. You know, those all go together. There's a lot of marijuana that has been smoked since I've seen these.
Well, what are the takeaways for this week, Matt?
The takeaways, Steve. I just want to, because we talk about wrestling a lot, and I might have been last week, but somebody that I used to make fun of on this show a lot, I've talked a lot of shit about, but wrestling, WCW wrestler Van Hammer, Steve, gone,
Okay.
died. So we
Oh,
give a rest in peace to Van Hammer here. I just wanted to point that out. I didn't have a lot to go off of. Shout out Nashville, had a fun time, but yeah, I remember that, and I was like, never got a chance to say I was sorry to Van Hammer.
man, it's not too late, Matt. April, yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it was pretty recently, and so just another wrestler that Steve and I enjoyed, have talked about, gone, but never forgotten.
Yeah.
Never forgotten. Van Hammer.
Enjoyed. That's a bit of a stretch, but shout out to him though. I mean, God bless the dead.
He's treading in heaven now.
There we go. I don't want it to end on a bad note. Much respect to Van Hammer and the fans that he did have. Yeah.
Those 3 fans that Van Hammer had are destroyed right now, Steve. Shout out. Shout out to those Hammerites.
My dream meeting at the convention, that'll never happen now. But I don't know.
Nope.
It was
sorry. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry to bring it down, but I had to. I had to pay tribute to a ledge.
It was Randy Savage and Van Hammer, and I'll never get that opportunity. But man, I wanted to cover this at first. The Designing Women in '93, they're airing The Lion Game, and Jan Hooks, her character is dating a guy who likes to cross dress, and that's the only funny part about it. The rest of it was like but just the reveal, because they were trying to say like, man, something's too good to be true. Like he's always bailing out on her dates, so the girls get involved. Let's act like we can lure him. It's like, let's act like a chick that's luring him to our place. Let's invite him over. So he gets there and he's dressed like a chick.
Hello. Meshach's like, hey, sister. We need to why didn't we talk about it, Steve? Why?
That Kelly Caulfield, man. Kelly Caulfield. And in '99, Boy Meets World is airing the Psychotic episode, and that one is trippy, man. It gets really dark, where Corey has this recurring dream of killing Sean, and he wants to know the purpose. What's the meaning behind this dream? Mr. Feeney always has the answers, and he tells him, like, you need to see this dream out and see what it means for yourself. So in one of the scenes where he like pushes him down an elevator shaft, he gets that dream again, but this time it's the whole cast one by one. He pushes Sean down, he pushes his brother down, he pushes Sean's girlfriend down, and then at the end, Topanga comes out the door and she's wearing a wedding dress, and it's basically saying you have to say goodbye to your old life. You know, it's not necessarily killing your friends, but it's in a way saying like the me that you knew before marriage, it's that person's dead now, and you guys are like, yeah, it was a deep, profound episode, man. Wouldn't expect that from Boy Meets World. But please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Please tell your sister, drown away all, wash away the flood. Check out Food Show Fanatics as well as Crushgasm every Wednesday. Our guy Clark the Shark on Podcastle, Wrestling with Ronzilla on TikTok, and some new friends of ours, Splat Attack. Check them out. They're Nickelodeon based, and like specifically 90s Nickelodeon based. We just had an interview with them a couple weeks ago. Episodes coming out this week, so please check that out. This is Steve G and Mad G with
Happened in the 90s.
New world order.